The dead internet theory is a conspiracy theory that suggests that most of the activity on the internet is from bots and AI, and that human interaction is pretty much dead and finished. The theory claims that this happened around 2016, 2017, and that organic human-to-human interaction has been pretty minimal ever since. Now, there's pretty good evidence to suggest that this is right, but there's also a lot of evidence to suggest that it's wrong, or perhaps it's early. In this video, we're going to explore dead internet theory, and I'm so glad you're here. If you're not yet subscribed, remember to do so that you see future videos just like this one. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say there's more than two outcomes to dead internet theory. I thought there were only two possibilities, that yes, dead internet theory is happening, that it's a valid concern, that it is something we should think about as online users, and two, no, absolutely not. It's a paranoid delusion by people that hate technological progress. I didn't expect to find a third option, and you will too by the end of this video, and it kind of blew my mind, but it took me having to find an expert on the matter to really get to that answer. So stick around to the end of the video because you are going to find out, is the internet actually dying? Hey Max, catch this. Hey Max, if I tell you dead internet theory, what does that mean to you?
Well, in a simple term, it's just when the bot start communicating with bot on social media and leave out, I don't know, human interaction from that convo.
And do you know what the percentage is currently? What would you guess?
Oh, say the one I'm familiar with, Twitter or X, probably up to like 40% now, I guess.
Okay. What if I told you on the whole internet, scientists believe it's 50-50? It's like 50 point something, 49 point something. Is that surprising?
Not really, nah. And the number is growing, and well, I was hoping to be 60 to be fair.
Yeah. And you work in AI, right? So do you feel like guilty contributing towards this? What do you think about it?
Oh, well, guilt a little bit, not so much to be fair. It's fun at the start, but when you see the consequence, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, we all got to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and do you think the internet will completely die, or will human interaction just get drowned out by bots? Is that the eventuality?
Well, on original platform, yes, it will get drowned out. But human, as always, probably find alternative solution to that. Who knows? We might get back to the old day of mailing each others.
I'm sorry, that was a very poor piece of journalism there to ask him my conclusion and try and get him to agree. But you get the point. Thank you, Max, for the terrific insight. And there you have it, guys, straight from a real bona fide AI researcher who, whether he likes it or not, is contributing towards this dead internet theory, which, remember, is just a theory. Where did that theory come from? That was my next question. So I did a little bit of research and I found that the theory dated back to about 2016, 2017 too. But a article titled Dead Internet Theory, Most of the Internet is Fake in 2021 by a user called Illuminati Pirate on Agora Road's Macintosh Cafe turned out to be the first real thorough exploration of this theory. And that theory has expanded to other platforms like YouTube, Hacker News, all over Reddit. It's been remixed and rehashed in many different ways, much like this video. That original post was quite hard to find, and it was a bit strange to read. It was a bit uneasy, paranoid, lonely, and the writer, I would say, felt a bit isolated. So if you feel that the internet is no longer a good place to get human-to-human interaction, and it's previously where you went to find those things, naturally you would feel a bit jaded, as I feel this writer did. Now, the theory kind of points towards a world in which AI has successfully drowned out humans on the internet, and that's kind of reshaped the internet into a controlled algorithmic, centralized place only designed to sell products, sell ideas, sell the work of people, or the data of people, perhaps is a better way of saying it. And that is happening. There is a lot of centralized control, and that's not a good thing. There are a lot of people going to platforms that solely exist to harvest their data and sell to advertisers. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, these places make you the product. Remember that, and I say this all the time. I've said it so many times on this channel. You are not the user. The advertiser is the user. You are the product on social media, because your data is the thing that is sellable to keep the platform running and to keep the tech billionaires rich and happy. Now, there was a follow-up article, and that was called Maybe You Missed It, but the Internet Died 5 years ago. It was written by Caitlin Tiffany for The Atlantic, and this further popularized the idea that dead internet theory is actually happening. It discussed the spread of it. It discussed the unease that people have when talking about it, but it really reflected the changing state of the internet. Now, if you don't really know too much about the background of the internet, originally the internet was called Web 1, or we can now call it Web 1, which was the read-only version of the internet. And people as old as me with patchy grey hair will remember dial-up modem internet and having to wait while your modem screeched so you could get online and read. And that was about all you could do was read. Then Web 2 came along and you could interact. It was the social internet. You had social media platforms, but you could also like and comment on things that previously you couldn't, which was very exciting. And so news platforms became more of a two-way dialogue, and social media was born. Now we have Web 3, which part of it is crypto. I don't want to go down that route, but another part of Web 3 is AI. Is blockchain technology. It's giving control back to users on the internet. It's handing the internet back to the people who actually use it. Now, we've got millions of people working towards that end goal, where the internet is once again for the people who use it and not for the bots. And then we have millions of people working towards an internet that is mostly AI interactions. So it's really hard to know which way we're going, and I think that's why dead internet remains a theory. Without Web 3 and people fighting for that cause, I think we would have had a dead internet quite a long time ago. And I think the tech giants might have largely been okay with that. The user experience on the internet would have been terrible, but I still don't think they would have tried to stop it. This grassroots mission to stop the internet from dying, which I see as a core ethos of Web 3, is saving the internet. But I might be wrong. Okay, guys, now you're probably going to want some data and evidence and numbers to back up these claims. So let's get into it. Research shows that bot traffic is significant, guys, with the 2024 Imperva Bad Bot report indicating that, this is the crucial number of this video, currently, or as of last year, 49.6% of all internet traffic was from bots, which leaves 50.4% was from humans. So as of the last report, humans were very slightly in the lead with a tiny majority. That has been going up year on year. By the time you see this video, it's very likely that a flip has occurred and that bot-to-bot activity has overtaken humans. But I still think this is good news, this data, 50%, that's still pretty high for human activity. And it suggests that, yeah, we're still active. We're still out here talking to each other, working with each other, collaborating online. And it could just be that humans have found spaces that are encrypted, and that's where they want to do their interactions, free from bots. And that's places like Telegram, like Signal, like WhatsApp. All of these can be end-to-end encrypted so that you can have your internet interactions with others without bots interfering. The same can't be said if you go and use Instagram and Twitter and Reddit and Discord. They are full of bots, and bot activity is a core part of their platforms. Right, I've got a great little extract here from a critic called Caroline Buster from New Models. She calls Dead Internet Theory a paranoid fantasy and notes that social media platforms block bots. They actually try to stop bots. I don't think that's true, and that AI content isn't yet indistinguishable from human content. Now, guys, I'm going to get close in it. I can only assume that she said that quite a while ago, because if you've been following the AI movement, it's incredible right now. It's pretty much indistinguishable. That's my feeling anyway. I'm connected with a lot of AI people on LinkedIn, so I do see the latest work and research being put out, and a lot of it I can't tell. Just yesterday, I watched a video thinking it was real until right at the end, I saw the tiniest detail that made me realize it was AI. That's how good it is now. It was a conversation between Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson that never happened. Very weird. Now, platforms like Reddit and Discord are some of the last frontiers of human-to-human interaction. That's what people say. This is where they go to really interact with one another. So where can you go to find out more about Dead Internet Theory? I have some resources here for you. The Atlantic is a publication that quite likes to talk about bots and automation and how the internet's changing. There's another theory. I believe it's called the fear of inversion, and that's something that you can go watch on YouTube. You have inflated Facebook engagement metrics, which was reported in The Slate, among other publications. Now, that's significant because if major tech platforms have to inflate engagement statistics, it means they know that bots are taking over and they're worried and they're willing to lie about it. Another thing is not all bot-to-bot interaction is malicious, right? Just remember that. You can go read about all the different ways that bots interact with each other to help us. One of which is click farms. Now, you might say, well, that doesn't really help me. But click farms is essentially businesses that will go and click and watch and interact with your product to boost its metrics so that the internet and users and engagers and visitors, everything, believe that something is more popular and more valuable, more engageable than it actually is. And there's plenty you can go read. I've linked an article in New York Magazine, which is very good. Hacker News, of course, and Hacker Noon as well. These guys talk about this all the time. It's a big, interesting topic. Linus Tech Tips, it's a pretty good grassroots community. I recommend going looking there. I've seen people talking about Dead Internet Theory on that forum. And the last one, I would say Reddit. There's no one particular subreddit that I would recommend, but just search keywords. Not necessarily Dead Internet Theory, but you could search for bots and automation, things along those lines. All of that tells me that there is cause for concern. There is real cause for concern if major publications and the social media companies are all acting on it. Does that make you uneasy? I'm not sure. I just think it's been a kind of normal process. But I'm missing something. I'm going to tell you what it is. I was at an event this week here in Bangkok, and it was hosted by Movement Labs. Now, you probably haven't heard of Movement Labs, but you might have heard of Move, or you might have heard of DM. If you haven't heard of those, you might have heard of Facebook, and you've probably heard of Meta, right? Meta is the top. Meta, a few years ago, spent billions of dollars, with a big B, to make its own programming language to help developers. Now, this programming language in particular was designed for blockchains because Meta wanted their own blockchain called DM. They wanted their own cryptocurrency called Libra. Now, don't want to get too much into blockchain and crypto, but I want to get into this language. This language, Move, is very interesting. It's not particularly easy to learn. I certainly have no idea how to use it, but developers who are using it believe that it's arguably the best way to build right now. And I think that's interesting. So I went to this event And I was talking to people, I was networking, I was eating a couple of canapes and macaroons and saying hello. And I start talking to a guy. And I'm looking and I keep seeing a little reflection in his glasses. Little, almost like oil on water when you see that at the side of the road. And you can see kind of like the rainbow, a dirty rainbow reflected in a puddle. So I kept seeing this colourful glare in his glasses. And I said to him, do you have some special glasses there? He said, yes, I do. Let me tell you all about them. He showed me how they work. They look pretty much like normal glasses, only with thicker frames. And I said, oh, so, these are very nice, your smart glasses. And he said, no, they're not smart glasses. Smart glasses you might already be familiar with. Actually, we've talked about them various times. Link in the corner here on Substream. Smart glasses, you have to instruct. You have to tell them what to do. You have to say, okay, take a photo, start recording, search for this, la, 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 so on and so forth. With his glasses, he's integrated AI agents that he's built on the Move programming language through his network called Up and put them into the glasses so that throughout his normal day, the AI agents see his regular routine, are processing the world around him, and are able to go and call queries and fetch data and retrieve information and run tasks and errands on his behalf autonomously without him asking. If somebody comes up to him and says, "Konnichiwa," it will say in his glasses, "Hello." And it will tell him that that person is speaking to him in Japanese. He doesn't have to call a translate function manually. It's all done for him. If he goes in a shop and he's looking at shoes, the shoes are $100, his AI agents may scan those shoes, go look for them cheaper elsewhere in the local proximity. Those are some kind of basic use cases for these glasses. And I obviously think that's incredible, and I wanted a pair, but they're not yet available. But as soon as they are, I am getting a pair because they are just absolutely amazing. Now, the guy who built them, his name is Devansh. Yes, he is a co-founder of Up Network, and I'm so absolutely delighted to not just to meet him, but to invite him to talk here on Substream. So let's play that clip. Hey guys, I'm here with Devansh from Up Network. He's wearing Agentic AI glasses. He builds Agentic AI, and so I would say he's helping catalyze the dead internet theory. But he actually didn't know about the dead internet theory. So I want to ask him, how big can AI really get?
Okay, so it's really interesting what I just learned about that theory from you right now. But what I'd like to say is, like, previously it was bots to humans or bots to bots. It's a little different with agents now, right? Because the agents are kind of getting, not in a way, your persona, because you're training it and feeding it with their own data. Like what we're doing at Up Network is you opt in to share your social data, behavioral data, app data. Eventually it's meant to get trained that it starts acting like you or make choices as you would act as well, right? So is it fair to say that, now you have your own agent, you have 10 agents, but I wouldn't compare them to bots at this point because they're acting more like human-like and they're actually making maybe some finer decisions where bots are do this if that kind of, they're very constrained, and I think maybe that's where the internet goes dead and dark. But if agents are continuously evolving and further spreading this network of data that is now being utilized to train and make things better, then I think it's becoming a very alive internet instead of the dead internet.
I think we can actually kill bots.
Yep.
If Agentic AI is super helpful and not annoying and spammy as bot interactions can be, then really, bots will die out first. And human interaction will always continue. The issue is that the ratio between human to human interaction and bot to bot interaction is that bot interaction is growing faster.
Yeah.
But AI interaction will quickly outpace it, right?
Yeah, I think that's the third category, right? Where it's going to be agent-to-agent interactions right now, and each agent will continuously evolve, but also that agent will continuously create other agents, if allowed to, based on needs that it wants to do. So I think these interactions just get more smarter, more efficient, and that's what we are working towards, reducing complexity and making interactions more efficient in our network.
Awesome. So you don't think that internet's going to die?
I don't think so. I think internet's just going to get a lot more interesting, probably less complex, because we're not going to be spending a lot of time figuring out stuff, where to go, where to do it. Everything will be on demand.
And one last question.
Excuse me.
One last question. I see AI as the great equalizer. right? People who don't have the skills can now tap into AI tools to have the skills,
Yeah.
and people who, basically that it can equalize ability.
Yeah.
Do you see it as that? Do you see it as a way for everyone to have equal access to super powerful tools?
I think so, but again, just like any technological advancement, it's really based on that information gap. If you're able to like bridge that gap of information, whether you're self-taught or whether you're interested in certain tech or whether your institutions teach that to you, then I think then we do provide that ability for people to become more efficient and almost have the superpowers. And I think currently that's the race that we're in with every corporation, almost every country, government at this point is like, who can fill up that information gap faster to get those superpower abilities?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much.
course.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that. Thank you. I'm up here, guys. Hello. Now, let's get these off. Now, given everything we've learned, everything we've read, everything we've heard, it seems likely to me that internet activity isn't dying, it's just changing, right? It's, of course, for many years been drowned out by bot activity, which makes genuine online spaces feel less genuine, and that's a problem. Actually, the tech companies don't want that. They don't want other people's bots ruining their experience. They don't mind if it's their own, naturally. Now, if they can capitalize on it, as Twitter has, like you can pay to have a bot-run account, then yeah, Twitter's happy with that. Users aren't happy with that. You can find a lot of anti-AI sentiment on Twitter, and then in the comments you will see automated bot comments, and it has a tag, a label to tell you that. In the past, the label wasn't there, so at least that's a little bit of progress. Now, I'm stuck thinking about what Devansh just said, and I want to take that into account, that agentic AI could kill bots. That's not something I'd ever considered, right? That is the third theory that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Devansh's theory that AI could kill bots. I think that's great, right? AI agents or agentic AI, whatever you want to call it, can help us to become better versions of ourselves by giving us the support we need online. They could be seen as an extension of us, right? We train them, they learn from us, they grow from us. They are like our personal assistants or researchers or errand makers or task completers, whatever you want to call them. They're not bots. They're different from bots. They're agents. Bots are just robots who do simple tasks that you tell them to. AI agents are autonomous. They have intelligence. They run on real-time data to achieve outcomes. And that's really a striking difference. They are much more akin to humans and human interaction than they are to bots. That's scary, but it's reality. Now, what does this mean for dead internet theory? Actually, it means that dead internet theory could itself die. So this video and this conclusion we could call the death of dead internet theory. Thank you, Devansh, for your help. Thank you, Max, for your contribution. Thank you, everyone, for watching. That's the end for me. But I will say one more thing. This fight is not over. This theory is not concluded. Keep your eye on it, but I have a pretty good theory that the only winner here will be humans. Oh, and if you're not yet subscribed, please go and do so. We're so close to hitting this 500 sub target that opens up a bunch of community features to us. We may have already hit that target by the time you watch, but who really knows? I'm Joseph, I'm your presenter. This is Substream. Yeah, that's about it. We'll be back next week with another video. Thank you so much for watching. Turn on notifications if you like these deep dives. The least you could do is like the video. And thank you for your time. I appreciate that you've stuck out the whole way. Let's go. Have a great week or weekend, whatever you're doing. Bye for now.